Namaskaram. In this episode, we will learn the meaning of Pillaiandadi, Pasuram number 7. So, in the previous episode, we saw in Pasuram 6 that once we start singing the glories of Swami Desika, the sins have to vacate this place and find another place to go find a new place for them, right? So, as a continuation of that Pasuram, now Kumara Varadhacharya is saying, where should they go? Where should the sins now go to find another place? And what would happen, right? So let's go through the Pasuram first. வினைகாள் உமக்கு இனி வேறோரிடம் தேட வேண்டும் எனை சினமேவி முன்போல் சிதைக்கும் வகை இங்கு அரிது கண்டீர் என் எனில் இராமானுசமுனி இன்னுரை சேரும் தூப்புல் புனிதன் என் புந்தி புகுந்து திகழ்ந்து புருந்தினரே. So, வினைகாள் உமக்கு இனி வேறோர் இடம் தேட வேண்டும். So, let's look at the word by word meaning now. So, vinaigal here refers to the sins, all the sins that we as a jivatma, that we have accumulated through all our births. It's talking about all of the sins that we have accumulated. So, vinaigal umakku ini veror idam theda vendum. Oh sins, a new residence has to be found for you. என்னை சினமேவி முன்போல் சிதைக்கும் வகை இங்கு அரிது கண்டீர். You see, your previous conduct of getting angry with me and troubling me will be difficult now. Do you realize? Now, what does this mean? When we are put through a particular situation, we have some amount of free will at the initial few seconds. So let's imagine I have been put into a particular situation and I have to decide how I respond to that situation or what decision I'm going to take. In the first few minutes or few seconds of that, I have a free will to decide what I have to do. And that free will is actually controlled by these vinaigal, which is our karma vasana. And when I have an accumulated level of sins, then obviously the decisions that I would be making or the response that I would be giving to such situations will be highly controlled by these karma vasanas. Now, if I have a lot of punyam in my bucket of sins, then it will give probably favorable outcomes to the actions that I'm going to take. But if I have a lot of papam that I have accumulated, then it's going to give me unfavorable. Right? But at the end of the day, in Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam, we say that whether you have papam or punyam, the difference is very, very meager. Whether you have a golden handcuff, which is your punyam, or if you have a brass or an iron handcuff, that is a papam. At the end of the day, we are all tied by a handcuff. So it doesn't matter whether we have papam or punyam. Having both of these is going to stop us from bhakti. So it is important for us to get rid of all of these vinaigal. So you see, your previous conduct of getting angry with me and troubling me will be difficult now. Do you realize that? So Kumara Varadhacharya is having a conversation with a personification of sins that is standing in front of him. And why he is saying this? என் எனில் ராமானுசமுனி இன்னுரை சேரும் தூப்புல் புனிதர். For the Holy One from Tupul, who has the sweet sayings of Bhagavad Ramanuja, is in my heart, right? Ramanuja is in the heart of Tupul. So, Yenninil Ramanusamuni in Urai Serum Tupul Punidar, the Holy One from Tupul, Swami Desikan, has the teachings and the sayings of Swami Ramanuja in his heart. And yen pundi puhundu tihalndu porundinare. And what happened after I chanted the glories of Swami Desikan? Swami Desikan has entered my heart, and being well settled there is resplendent over there. So he has occupied my heart right now, and all these sins that were shooed away in this previous Pasuram. They were standing maybe at one corner. Now they have been pushed even more further. Kumara Varadacharya is saying that you don't have a place over here anymore and go find a different place for you to live. You don't have a residence anymore in my heart, because Swami Desikan, who holds all the teachings of Swami Ramanujar, is now dwelling in my heart, right? This reminds me of a particular Pasuram of Nammalvar and a conversation with Perumal, where he says that Nammalvar asks Perumal, are you greater or am I greater? And Perumal says, obviously, I am greater. I am Ulahamunda Peruvaya. I am such a big person that I have the entire universe within me. And Nammalvar says, so if you are so great that you have the entire universe within you, then I have you in my heart. So I have you and I have the entire universe which is there within you in me. So I am greater. So Nammalvar says, I am greater than you. So similarly, Swami Desikan has Ramanujar in his heart, and we have Swami Desikan who has Ramanujar in his heart. And therefore, these sins cannot find any place in our heart. So the summary of this Pasuram is, oh, since Swami Desikan, who has in his heart the divine teachings of Bhagavad Bhashakarar, has entered my heart and resides there permanently. Therefore, you cannot trouble me as before, when you would get angry and hurt me at unrequired times. Now you have to find another place to stay. Now, this stanza, this particular verse or this Pasuram has similarities with many other Pasurams from Nalayara Divya Prabandham. So, this is very similar to the 30th stanza of Periya Tiruvandadi. So, in Periya Tiruvandadi, which is another work of Nammalvar, he says, Ingillai pandu pol வீற்றிருத்தல் என்னுடைய செங்கண்மால் சீர்க்கும் சிறிதுள்ளம் அங்கே மடியடக்கி நிற்பதனில் வல்வினையார்த்தாம் மீண்டடி எடுப்பதன்றோ அழகு. He's giving a lot of respect for the sins by calling them in, மீண்டடி எடுப்பதன்றோ அழகு. Tam, he says tam to the sins by giving them a lot of respect. So, இங்கில்லை பண்டு போல் வீற்றிருத்தல், you cannot stay here like before. என்னுடைய செங்கண்மால் சீர்க்கும் சிறிதுள்ளம். Now the செங்கண்மால், the one with the red beautiful eyes, that is Perumal himself, has now found a residence in my heart. So, ange madiyadakki nirpadanil. Madiyadakki is like, in Madisar we have this little corner that we have, right? So like that, like a small little place that you have found in the corner of my heart, you can no more stand over there. Valvinayartam, who you sins, you cannot find a corner place within my heart, because Tirumal with his Senkan, with his eyes as effulgent and which are red in color, showing his compassion for us, he has now taken the place completely. He's made it his permanent residence. So now you have to find another place. So this Pasuram is very similar to that. Now there's another Pasuram that is very similar to this, is Periyalvar Tirumozhi, 5th centum, the second Padikam, Unnam Pasuram. Okay, the first Pasuram. So it's 5, 2, 1. What does it go as? நெய் குடத்தை பற்றியேறும் எறும்புகள் போல் நிறந்து எங்கும் கை கொண்டு நிற்கின்ற நோய்காள் காலம் பெற உய்ய போமின் மெய் கொண்டு வந்து புகுந்து வேத பிரானார் கிடந்தார் பை கொண்ட பாம்பினையோடும் பண்டன்று பட்டினம் காப்பே. So in this Pasuram, Periyalvar is saying that my whole body is inflicted with so many diseases. Okay, and the diseases have been caused because of the innumerable sins that I have accumulated. Now he is talking to the sins by saying that you all are surrounding me, like how if I have kept a pot of ghee, how the ants would, an army of ants would actually find its place around this pot of ghee. Like that, all of you have surrounded me with so many diseases. All the sins have accumulated and given me the form of disease. But now you don't have a place here in my body, because now Perumal has found who, what kind of Perumal? Pai konda pambanayodum. He's not come alone. He's come with his entire family. Pai konda pambanai. So he's come with his Adisesha Paryankam. He's come there and he has now slept in my heart, and therefore you don't have place for any of your sins to take its form in the form of diseases, and all these diseases you will have to now leave at once. Now, we could have a question saying, already in the previous Pasuram, we said that the sins have been vanquished. So why are we again talking about the sins taking a new residence in this? Now, if you look at the Pasuram 5 of Tirupavai, Andal says the same thing. Mayanai mannu vadamadurai maindhanai தூய பெருநீர் யமுனை துறைவனை ஆயர் குலத்தினில் தோன்றும் மணிவிளக்கை தாயை குடல் விளக்கம் செய்த தாமோதரனை தூயோமாய் வந்து நாம் தூமலர் தூவித் தொழுது வாயினால் பாடி மனத்தினால் சிந்திக்க போய பிழையும் புகுதருவான் நின்றனவும். So she talks about two types of sins over here. Poya Purayum, all the sins that have been done in the past, Pugudaruvan Nindranavum, those which are yet to enter, because we are going to do so many more actions in the future as well after Sharanagati, and all of those will have to be vanquished because of Swami Desikan dwelling in my heart permanently, and Swami Desikan who has Ramanujar in his heart as well, right? So she's talking about Poya Pirayum, which is all the past karma deeds that I have done, all the sins that were accumulated in the past, and everything that's going to come, the Arabdha karma, the Prarabdha karma that is also going to be done by me in the upcoming days. Now, that does not mean we have the ability to commit sins, but after doing Sharanagati, obviously we should lead a pious life where we don't commit any sins, and particularly no Bhagavata apacharam. But Perumal is so compassionate that if at all we do a sin without our knowledge, then he is ever compassionate, and he's not going to take these into account. And especially if we have our Acharyans dwelling in our heart, then he will look at the Acharyan's face, and the Acharyas are going to talk on our behalf, and therefore we will not have any of these sins start reaping the benefit of whatever karma we have accumulated. So from this Pasuram, we understand that Swami Desikan has found a permanent residence in our heart. Now that we have just reached the 7th Pasuram of Pillaiandadi, but he has found a permanent residence. And that gives us a huge responsibility to keep this heart and mind unadulterated, and therefore only offer everything that is pure and try to lead a pure life, or a life that is filled with Vainal Padi Manathinal Sindhikya. Whatever we speak, whatever we use this mouth for, let it be only for the purpose of singing the praise of the Lord and his Bhagavatas. Vainal Padi Manathinal Sindhikya. And let us contemplate on everything that is only related to Perumal Pirati and Acharya Paramparai. And Archanai Seida, let's use our hands only for offering flowers and offering Kainkaryam to him, and may our feet always walk in the direction of his temples and to do service to the Bhagavatas. And with this thought, let's enjoy this Pasuram until the next episode. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha, Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. Dhanyosmi.